All right, hello everyone. Get right into it. Running internal hackathons. I'm Michael Schnuerle from Louisville, Kentucky. I'm going to talk about other types of hackathons as well here, so you'll learn a little bit about them and how you can maybe run some in your own city. To make sure that you pronounce this word properly and use it the right way, sometimes, this is not me at all, but sometimes you put an extra letter at the end and it can change the meaning of the word. So I'm waiting. There you go. So you don't want to put a G at the end. I've done that by typing accidentally sometimes, or when I'm talking in front of a group. And I've talked to other people, and they've done this too. So don't do that. That's not what you want to do. So the thon part, though, so that is actually, it's like a marathon. So you run, you are in something intensely for a short amount of time, and there. So running. It's like a marathon. You have to work hard, short amount of time. You're trying to accomplish a goal, and I'll talk about. There's Homer. Okay, good. And then the hack part is where you actually hack. So everyone knows what hackers do. They dress like that. There's these digital things. This movie from the '80s is what defines what a hacker is, right? So everyone knows this. Everyone's hacker man there. He's a relatively new hacker. But I will have to say that that's not the origin of the word. So the origin is a very positive thing. In World War II, mechanics used to fix planes, and they were called hackers. They would hack on the planes with wrenches and get them back into working order before they take off again. And there's even history before that. So in 1898, the figurative sense of to try something or attempt something. And then before that, a hack is a tool. So it's a tool for chopping or getting something accomplished. So it actually has a very positive thing, and then the 80s kind of messed it up. So the 80s was not the way to go. So there's public hackathons, and I'm sure that's what you all have mostly been participating with, whether it's Code for America, Data for Democracy. Civic Data Alliance is our local Code for America brigade, and we do a bunch of different things: hardware hacking, appliance hacking, software, all sorts of things. In fact, like one of the outcomes of that is this shirt I have on. This is a map of Louisville out of buildings, and we didn't know this would come out of it, but we added buildings to OpenStreetMap for the blind so that they can navigate the city. So that was one of the outcomes of our public hackathons. And so what are the goals of a hackathon? Community, you really want to build community. You really want to be diverse in where you host your hackathons, who's attending, trying to reach different people. You want to have a lot of different outcomes. What projects are you coming out of it? What do you do with those things later, continuing the work? And then innovation is really kind of the key. So you want to get people thinking outside the box. So to get people comfortable with hackathons, we've done this thing in Louisville called analog hackathons. So some people are scared of hackathons. We thought this is a good way to do it. It introduces the concept, walks you through the important parts. No computers or tech needed. We actually printed out overhead transparencies of those data layers you see below, and people could overlay those and run them. So here's an example of one of the workshops we did. We had tables and things, and people put these data layers together and work in small groups, propose a technology solution, and tell us what other information they wanted. It's kind of like a gateway drug to a real hackathon. There's a blog post there in my slides later. So we've done 4 so far. You want to take it on the road, go to different departments, kind of like a big top circus, and get everyone ready for the real deal. So internal hackathon, innovation is very important. That's why there's so much clip art there about innovation. So you want to institutionalize it, socialize it, train on new tools, collaborate between departments, and help solve your known problems. And an innovative course. This is an internal one we did around Waze data at our public-private kind of government facilities, hacking space. I feel like people are moving the slides, which is good. So, okay, so this is tips. There's a bunch of these tips. You can look at these later, but cast a wide net. Have good communication before and after. Get ready. Get the data ready. That's really important. And, yep. Also, strong facilitation. Follow up afterwards. Make sure your ideas don't just die at the hackathon. Build that community and vary your topics and locations. So these are kind of external. So another thing about a hackathon is, and this is my analogy, so it's like building a house without a blueprint. So you get a bunch of professionals together in a room, you give them tools, food, and supplies, and you get a good house out of it at the end, but it's not maybe the house you had in mind. So you can't have an expectation of something perfect at the end of it. It takes a lot of time to organize, so you have less time to do other things like beat the video game Cuphead, which is hard, like Baroness von Bonbon. She's a very hard person to beat. You can't watch Stranger Things. You might be behind on that, and you have less time to make slide decks. It has to be organic and Zen. Follow up on the good projects, though. And make it a friendly competition. So usually no prizes. The hackathons we run, we don't really have prizes in general, but you want to make it friendly, and you can do it, and everyone can do it, and it's a lot of fun.